Blah. Blah. I don't even know why you broke that out.
Oh,
You hate this game.
yes I do.
Welcome to another episode of Big and Stupid Game Reviews. I'm Stupid J.
I'm Big Mike.
And can you guess what we're going to be reviewing this week? I'm going to say with that gun, it's probably going to be...
Gears of War 3.
So I was going to guess Assassin's Creed.
So Jay.
Maybe I should start this time.
Yes, let's see what we're gonna start with what we liked about the game. So it's just gonna be you talking.
Even you got to admit the game looks good.
Yeah, it looks good, but so does 80% of the games that are out.
Alright, okay. Well, the game looks good.
Yes, it sure does. That's the best I'm gonna do.
The controls are better. They're not great yet. After 3 games, they really should have learned how to make better controls yet. But this is the smoothest the characters have ever worked, and this is the most balanced the guns have ever been in this game. They've always been horribly unbalanced, and especially for multiplayer, you always get your ass kicked. This are finally much more balanced out. The multiplayer, they gave you a lot more options this time. I don't like half the options, but the fact that they're there is always a good thing. I like to have options whether I use them or not. Especially if I get bored with something, I might want to try something new. Maybe I will like it. Maybe I won't. Big fan of the new Horde. It's kind of like tower defense in a way. First didn't really like it, but now that they give you bosses and whatnot in the waves, it's a little bit more useful. It's fun, and I like it. It's a good way to spend some time with some friends.
Yeah, if your friends are stupid.
God damn it. What else? I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but it really, for when it comes to Gears, that is a lot. Because the Gears series, I've always had a hate and love relationship with this series. I've always enjoyed playing them. It's always good co-op with friends. You know. Go ahead. You're salivating like a bad dog.
I've always had a hate and hate relationship with Gears of War. Characters are slow. And clunky, hard to move.
You mean slow as in the way they move or as in mentally?
The way they move and mentally,
Oh,
they're ugly.
I wouldn't date any of them. I'll give you that. I mean, a lot of in 3 they finally developed characters. 1 and 2, you don't really like most of the characters because there's nothing to them, and especially Marcus Phoenix. God, we're gonna get hate mail for this, but. People are like Marcus Phoenix. Marcus Phoenix is fine as a character. He's fine. He's not great. And he sure as hell isn't awful. He's a good, regular leader. He acts like a team leader, and he does what he's supposed to do. That's like saying Master Chief is this amazing character, too. There's nothing to these characters.
That's one of
So I have no feeling, one way or another, when I play these games.
That's one of the things that drives me crazy about this game. People think it's spectacular. I don't get it. There's nothing out of the ordinary for this. The characters are generic. The shooting is generic. The enemies are generic. The backgrounds are generic. There's nothing that stands out. Everything works the way it should, but there's anything more than generic. Everything is just standard video game blah. So, yes, the character development's better in this one. The controls are better in this one. But if you've been eating sewage your whole life, then dog food is going to taste good after a while. It's just there's nothing to these games. And I wouldn't hate them so much, but people freak out over them, and it's like I don't understand why people freak out about these games. They're fun. If people would just say, "Oh yeah, Gears of War, it's fine." Yeah, fine. They're fine. But people talk about these games like they're something magnificent that nobody's ever done before. No, it's a third-person, over-the-shoulder shooter. Boring, with crappy characters. The only thing good in this one is Ice-T.
And he's barely in it.
Because it's Ice-T as Ice-T, and who wouldn't want to be pals with Ice-T?
I definitely see where you're coming from, and a lot of that comes from. First of all, this is like one of the original cover-based third-person shooters ever, so people are going to follow it for that. The other one is marketing. They have Microsoft to back them, and everything has been shoved down your throat, and a lot of it's bullshit too. To this day, I get mad at Horde mode. When I pick up a video game magazine and they're like, "Oh, this game has a survival mode, just like Horde." No, not like Horde. Horde is survival mode. Survival mode is old as shit. They renamed it Horde mode, and you're spoon-fed that it's new, and it's not. Video games been doing that long before Gears ever came around. You know, it's just a lot of that little... That does bother me. Every time I read that, it pisses me off. It's nothing new. Horde mode's nothing new. It's survival mode.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it comes down with marketing. They have guys making great toys. They have people pumping out comic books. You know, and again, the look is unique. So, you know, whether you like it or not. So you're going to get that in toys, posters, action figures, the gun, all types of... You're going to get tons of this crap, and it's going to get spoon-fed, and people are going to eat it up.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
and either you're going to... You know, and either you're going to love it or you're going to hate it. And at first, I hated it because it was all over. And then it was all over the place, and I played it, and I'm like, you know, who the hell doesn't love to hate something that's popular? But when I played it, you know, I'm just like, okay, I played it. This fucking doesn't deserve the hype it gets.
It doesn't.
3, I feel, does deserve to get the hype it gets. It got to the point where it finally needed to be. But they should have been doing this from the beginning. And this still isn't great.
Yeah, I just, at this point in time, I don't know why, but I would just love for somebody to do something that's not running around and shooting. I know it sells, but how many games are running around and shooting?
Well, that's a lot. And this one is awful at it. Everywhere you go, the bad guys show up. Everywhere you go. Even places that are known for being peaceful, the bad guys show up. They don't even explain why. At one point, someone even makes a thing like, "Oh, how comes the locusts keep showing up everywhere we get somewhere?" That's a good question, character. Why don't you tell me? I want to know this.
Yeah.
But again, Gears has the worst writer ever. I don't remember her name. She wrote all 3 games, and she has no idea how to write a plot. All the plots are fucking terrible. There's still plot holes from the first one that aren't even answered in this one yet. And this one even opened up even more fucking plot holes that don't make any sense. And it's frustrating.
Well, it's because they want you to buy their novels, and they want you to buy
Doesn't
their
matter.
comic books.
It's a
and they
video
want...
game.
No, I know.
It's a video game.
That's one of the main things that pisses me off. And people buy into it. You know, it's like, oh, well, I really want to know. This story is great. But the thing is, it is a video game. And if your video game doesn't explain your story, they're not doing what they're supposed to. If you have to buy the books, and you have to buy the comics, and you have to watch the web show, and you have to get the movies, then the video games aren't telling your story.
No, and it's bullshit. It's a game. It's for gamers.
I went into this game expecting to hate it. I hated the last 2. I went into this one going, I'm going to hate this. I have been surprised in the past. Saints Row 2, I expected to hate. One of my favorite games of all time. The Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. I love the Modern Warfare series. I could do without the other Call of Duties. Sometimes, you know, I get surprised by series. This was not one of them. Everybody's like, yeah, it's so much better than the first 2. It's so much better than the first 2. Yeah, it is a lot better than the first 2, but it still is nothing. It's just a standard shooter, and it just drives me crazy. I would think that for all the hype it gets, even Halo does have stuff that makes it different from the other shooters. This has nothing. It has generic alien. The plot is we have to kill all of these aliens. That's the whole thing. It drives me insane.
No, I know. I definitely agree to a point. There's nothing more frustrating than running around and you're hoping for some character development, some good story, and it's just like, oh, we just got here. Let's go see if we can find some supplies. Oh, monsters are here. Well, let's go shoot these guys for the next 20 minutes. And you're like, okay, I'm shooting the same guys over and over and over again. Yeah, but this game is like a Call of Duty game. No one gives a fuck. No one cares about the story. No one cares about most of these characters. They really don't. And I am glad the character interactions are really good in this. The way they converse back and forth, and they even fuck with each other and tell jokes, it's great. It is. But again, that's as far as that goes. And half of them are still generic. They did concentrate on certain characters and made those characters really cool. But that's about it. But again, like Call of Duty, this is about multiplayer. This is where they concentrated on, like always. This is like Call of Duty always concentrates on, and that's where the meat and potatoes are. And again, I enjoy the multiplayers. They're fun. You got people exploiting it like every other fucking game, but which goes to another thing of hate, talking about exploiting, and that's probably controls.
We just saw a perfect example of just stupidness.
No, that was her fault because she was zooming in when she should have been shooting from the hip.
Yeah, but she was circling around, and he wasn't even attacking her. He was just running around her, just letting her shoot him. So yeah, that basically, yeah, that's my problem. I wouldn't even mind the character and stuff if, like, the character flaws, and just give me one character that I like. That's all, and give me characters that move. Because this clunking around slowly, and then if you want to go fast, you can't control your guy. It's just
no, and that goes back to a lot of games with bad controls. Because the controls aren't great. They are better, but they're not great. They're still not great controls. But like a lot of games, you can exploit it or you can't. I've learned to exploit them by doing a lot of multiplayer. A lot of people I play with, they can exploit those controls. Some people can't. And it's all about wall bouncing and knowing your active reload, you know, and using tools like that.
Well, I think we've gotten down to what we think of this game. I wouldn't recommend taking it if somebody paid you $60 to take it. What do you think?
If you're new to the Gears series, don't even bother with 1 and 2. Start with 3. 3 is the best controls. The story isn't going to matter because again, it's littered with plot holes. If you really want to get into it, start with 3. If you want a good co-op experience, this delivers. It really does, especially with multiplayer and on campaign. It's not going to do anything for your brain cells, that's for sure. But you want to run around, you want to shoot people in the face with your friends, you want to chainsaw guys, you know, it delivers.
If I want to run around and shoot people and chainsaw guys, I'll play Saints Row. So you have some
yes, I
people you
recommend
wanted to thank for playing this game for you. Do it quickly because I'm fucking sick of talking about this game.
Again, these shoutouts are for people who are supporting the web show, and these are also for people who help play the game and make the game enjoyable. Because with games that are popular, they have more people playing. More people means more douchebags, and it's hard to find good people to play with. These are people who are good to play with, help me out, in multiplayer modes, or even beating the game on Insane, which it earns that title of Insane. So, thank you to the following people. Loacano17. Sorry, Frank, I don't know if that's how I say it right. ForceGrip69, Rampage in Narwhal, Serenity 2645, Warbeast 1987, Lucifer, X Wasted Youth 42X, and Martinez Pete 03. So, thank you guys. You're making this game more enjoyable.
And guys, I'm sorry that you play Gears of War.
And I'm sorry you played with me.
Alright.
The man whose name is Stupid J.
Yes.
So, tune in next week, where we will review a video game.
Yes, a game!
Like us on Facebook. Subscribe.
And subscribe to our channel.
Adios.